Okay, this video should help you with the word problems that we were not able to discuss in class today. So I will start with number 3, and you need to read your book, have your book with you as you watch the video, and you probably will need to pause the video at certain points to actually complete a problem. But in number 3, you have 2 numbers. So if I let n represent one number, and they describe the numbers, they say the numbers differ by 57. So I could describe one number as n and the next number as n plus 57. And the problem says that when I add the 2 numbers together, their sum is 185. So I'll let you take it from there. Number 4 is exactly the same, so you should be able to read it, use this logic, and set that one up on your own. Let's look at number 5 together. So number 5 is a bus and a car. This is number 5. So the bus traveled 318 kilometers further than the car. So reading the problem and just taking the words and doing a direct translation. And then they tell me that the car went 1/3 as far as the bus. So this is reading the problem and just translating exactly what they've said. The problem is I can only set the bus equal to the bus, or I can set the car equal to the car. So I have to take one of my equations and solve it for the other variable. I think looking at the first equation, if I solve for C, it would just be taking the bus and subtracting 318. So the 2 equations are exactly the same. And then this allows me to go with the car equaling the car. So one substitution I would make would be B minus 318. If the car equals the car, then I could substitute for the car the bus minus 318, and I would set it equal to this 1/3 B. And you should be able to take that from there. Just be careful with the fractions. Just be careful untangling and solving with the fractions. Okay, the next problem to do on the video would be number 7, which I set up for you in your notes. And this is referring to Democrats and Republicans. I would have 100 Democrats and Republicans when I add them together. And the problem states that I have 12 more Democrats than Republicans. So I would represent the Democrats as R plus 12. And then I would make a substitution into the equation that I set up right here. I would replace the D with R plus 12. The R would remain as R, equaling 100. And that's the equation that I would solve for number 8. For number 7. Number 8 is the same logic. It's boys and girls. So to do number 8, just to give you a little setup for number 8, the number of girls plus the number of boys would equal 431. I have 17 more boys than girls, so the boy could be G plus 17. And then I come into my equation to make my substitutions. I would let G remain as G, and then I would substitute in for the B. I would substitute in G plus 17, and that would be 431. That's the equation to solve for number 8. Let's look at number 9 quickly. So number 9, I have 2 people in this problem. I have Elena and Ramon, and we're comparing money. So Elena has 1.5 times as much money as Ramon, and I will let the R person just stay as R. Together, the amount of money that they have together totals $225. So I would set that up to see the relationship, and then I would make substitutions. So, and for the E, I would substitute in 1.5 R. I would let the R's remain as R, and this is the equation that you would solve. You also have the option to let Elena be 3/2R using the fraction instead of the decimal. It's completely your choice, whatever you would like to do. Okay, let's look at number 10. And this is 2 universities. So in number 10, and actually this is pretty straightforward, they tell me that Western is 18 years older than Southern University. So that's one fact about Western. And then the next fact is also about Western, so it's pretty straightforward. Western is also 2.5 times as old as Southern. So this allows me to take that logic where I set Western equal to itself, make my substitutions, and solve for both variables. And I know that you're all capable of doing that with all the modeling that we've done in class. Okay, let's move on and look at 11 and 12. So now we're entering into the level B problems. So the wording starts to get a little bit less clear. So number 11, we're comparing a flagpole to a school. And the first bit of information tells me that the flagpole is 3/4 as tall as the school. And then the second bit of information, they tell me that the two differ by 4.5 units of measure, whatever the units of measure would be. So that implies that the flagpole is shorter than the school, and if they differ by 4.5, I would describe the flagpole as the school minus 4.5. And then I could just take the two equations. The flagpole would be set equal to itself, make your substitutions, and you would solve this. That's the equation that you would solve. Number 12, I have two people running. They start at the same spot and they run in opposite directions. So they're 10.5 kilometers apart after a certain amount of time. But they don't run equal distances. One girl runs 1.5 meters further than the other girl. So I have my equation set up, Leah plus Barb equaling a total distance of 10.5. I'm choosing to let Leah remain as the variable in my problem, and I will substitute in for Barb. I will substitute in L plus 1.5, and this is the equation that I would end up solving for number 12. And then numbers 13 and 14 refer to perimeter. I'll set up one with you, and I'm assuming you probably did these last year as well, but we'll do a lot of these this year. So you need to memorize the formula for perimeter of a rectangle. And in this problem, they tell me that the perimeter is 68, and then they tell me that the length is 12 units more than the width. So if I let width remain as W, then length would be W plus 12. Then you come back to your formula and you make your substitutions. P gets replaced by 68, the L gets replaced by W plus 12, and then the W, right, the W from the formula just would remain W in my problem. And then here, I'm assuming that you all can take it from there and solve that on your own. And number 14 is exactly the same. So bring all of your notes to class tomorrow nice and organized, and we'll just carry on from there.